the webinar, we'll just get started. We do have another couple of people who are due to join us, but we'll acknowledge them as they come along. So as I said, it's going to take about 45 minutes approximately, and we'll get started now. Gail's got something to say.
Our participants are from Port Hedland in the Pilbara right through to Mount Barker in the southwest, so welcome everyone.
So, hi everyone, I'm Shirley Brindley, Project Officer at Keep Australia Beautiful, and I've been involved with Tidy Towns for about 4 years. And we have Gail Dodd, who's the Awards Programme Coordinator for all 3 Sustainability Awards. And I can see Kelly Howlett from Port Hedland has joined us now. So good morning, Kelly. And if you're able to follow us along, we've literally just started. Thank you for joining us. So how to interact today? As some of you already know, you can type your comments and questions in the box here. Your questions we can see on our screen, and we'll respond, read out your question or respond to you in that way. I can't hear you, so you can hear me, and the way to communicate is through the questions. We also have some polls which enables us to know what people are thinking, and they're also a little bit of fun. So let's trial a poll now. And so our poll is, how many webinars did you attend in 2015? It could be 1 or 2, less than 1 or 2, or it could be 2 to 5, or more than 5. If you are able to see your polls and able to vote on that, that would be fantastic. So I can see that not all of you have voted yet. You're all still working out. That's great. It just gives us an understanding of webinars and your technical knowledge perhaps, or your how useful you perhaps think webinars are. Webinars, we did a webinar for Tidy Towns last year, and this is the webinar we've chosen to do today. It's just really to highlight the whole submission process and the whole 3 sustainability awards. So again, how many webinars did you attend in 2015? So what I'll do is close that webinar now, and we'll just say that one of you attended more than 5 webinars. You've been very busy doing at webinars, and it says 60% of you 1 or 2. So thanks for that. That just gives us a little bit of information. So let's get on to what we're here for today, which is the new look for Keep Australia Beautiful Awards 2016. So there are changes to the awards this year. However, the cost to enter the program remains the same. It's free.
Tidy Towns is our internationally iconic program, and in WA is now in its 47th year. It is open only to regional communities. Tidy Towns is run at state level with state finalists, judging and a state award ceremony. Keep Albany Beautiful was state winner for 2015, and they will be competing in the national awards to be held in 2J in March. 2J is the immediate past national Tidy Towns winner. Everyone is invited to come to 2J. You can register online on the national site kab.org.au. Consider attending a free workshop before the Australian Tidy Towns event and get some more great tips from KAB and 2J.
So whereas Tidy Towns is our state award, which involves a ceremony and a state winner, Sustainable Cities and Clean Beaches are national awards for which we are seeking nominations from you to represent WA in the national awards, and these awards are open to regional and metro communities. So you can go to our website, select Sustainable Community Awards, and that will take you to all 3 award pages. So again, Sustainable Cities is open for entry to all regional and metropolitan cities. In 2015, Kalgoorlie Boulder represented WA, and they really wowed the judge, winning the National Heritage and Culture Award, and the city was also highly commended for environmental sustainability.
Let's do a new poll. Who holds the current Australian Clean Beaches title? Test your knowledge. Western Australia has done extremely well nationally in all 3 of the awards programs. The poll is now launched. Did you want to?
Okay, so I can see that most of you are going towards Gilderton, and in fact you would be right with that. Gilderton were the National Clean Beaches winner in 2015. Well done, Gilderton. The Gilderton Community Association nominated and prepared a submission for the National KAB judge, and they were guided by the KAB office here. Now, registrations for all of these award programs close on the 1st of March, so that really is quite a short time frame from now. So if you haven't already done so, get your registration in online at KAB before then, and once done you'll receive acknowledgement from KAB and the submission form, as well as useful links to tips on our website. And just a note, someone just typed in there, I think Fiona, do you mean KBC webinars? When we asked the question if you've done webinars before, not necessarily KB webinars. I was meaning if you'd had practice in other webinars or participated in any webinar. So to carry on, submissions are due on the 1st of May, so that's your second deadline. And this deadline is earlier this year than it has been in previous years. So they're due at the KB office by close of business on the 1st of May. Let's talk about the categories. This year there are 6 category awards. That's less than previous years because they've been amalgamated and in line with KAB National Association. All the award categories for tidy towns, sustainable cities, clean beaches are the same. So the 2016 category awards are Community Action and Wellbeing, Heritage and Culture, Litter and Waste Management, Young Legends, Environmental Sustainability and Environmental Education. So a word about number count when writing your submission. We don't need essays from you. We just need up to 400 words per category. That's per category. You may decide to focus on your strongest project and then dot point others, initiatives or projects. It's really up to you, but it's great to capture everything.
What are the judges looking for? We want you to make it concise. We're looking for partnerships between volunteers, community groups, government, business and industry. We're looking also at multicultural community engagement. Now let's have a look at a Tidy Town submission form. It's very similar to the Clean Beaches and Sustainable Cities submission. And to look at it more closely, the photo is of the Albany team winning the State Award last year. And at the bottom of that page 1, it says to highlight your best projects and initiatives, as Shirley just mentioned, and that the maximum word count is 400. It suggests you can use bullet points if you like. And page 2 says you may attach up to 4 high-quality images per category. They should be in JPEG format, and you should reference the photographs within your Word document relating to that category. The form should be submitted by email, in this instance to tidytowns@kabc.wa.gov.au, sustainablecities@kab.wa.gov.au, or Clean Beaches at the same address by the 1st of May. And this deadline is the same if you decide to post it to our office. Please telephone the Tidy Towns team or the awards team on 6467 5131 or 5132 if you need any assistance. The next section goes through the first and second contacts for the awards, and page 3 that follows mentions that judges only assess projects that have been planned, maintained or started during the period 1st of June 2015 to 30th of April 2016. And finally, there's a photographic authorisation page. We need you to sign an authority to allow us to use all your fabulous photographs in our publications like the Winners Book. So for Tidy Towns, enter as many categories as you wish, and those case studies that we'll collect from you will help to educate, inform and enthuse other communities. I'd suggest if you're entering Clean Beaches or Sustainable Cities that you have a really good go at entering all 6 category awards so that you can be competitive as a finalist.
Okay, thanks for that, Gail. And I can see that Wendy Graves has joined us. Wendy, thanks for joining us this morning from Gosnells. And I think we've had a question here for nominating at the City Speeches. I'll get back to that question. I'm actually not quite sure the format of that. So let's talk about the criteria for each of the wards. Let's take a brief look at that. All the information about the criteria is of course on our website, and we can easily send you further information.
The Community Action and Wellbeing category is the first, and that recognises the achievements of a community in creating a healthy, vibrant community that has actively engaged with groups from all sectors. Entrants who are winners show effective partnerships between community groups, local government, industry, school, business and volunteers. Judges will this year also be looking at ways in which your community looks after community wellbeing, which can include projects that nurture mental and physical health. For example, Kalgoorlie has a Work for the Dole program at its community nursery. The program is designed to help job seekers develop the skills that employers want, show they are ready to start work, meet new people, make contacts who can be a referee, and get involved with their local community. Of course, entrants can work on any project that suits the needs of their community, and whatever your project is, it will fit into one of our category awards. Just ask us if you're unsure. Judges are impressed when youngsters are involved in your Tidy Towns, Clean Beaches or Sustainable Cities projects. A playground unveiling at Greenbushes resulted from strong community action and partnerships. Of course, playgrounds nurture the physical and mental health of our young. In 2015, Wongan Hills won this state award for Tidy Towns. Wongan Hills has many community groups and a strong, vibrant spirit. They motivate and promote youth participation, residents work together, training and mentoring each other, and they engage holistically with other community members. Honouring citizens and remembering community history such as Anzac Day boosts morale and knits people together with a passion. At the Anzac Dawn service at Wongan Hills, more than 400 people attended. This was followed by a gunfire breakfast and in the evening an Australian dinner at the Railway Goods Shed. This is the judges' report from their submission. Note the poppy making, the refurbishment of a 25-pound field gun, and the restoration of the War Memorial. And much more. Remember, we are looking at the Community Action and Wellbeing category, and Wongan's range of projects demonstrates they have it covered. Heritage and Culture. There's no name change here from years past. This award, as usual, recognises a community's outstanding commitment to the conservation and celebration of a community's Indigenous and non-Indigenous heritage and culture. Judges look for successful outcomes from initiatives designed to address preservation of cultural or natural history and culturally significant buildings and sites, development of strategic or business plans relating to historical cultural preservation and or restoration, research and the protection and, where appropriate, display of culturally significant sites, records and artefacts, celebration within the community of culturally significant events or traditions, and as you might have expected, Albany celebrating their centenary of Anzac last year, won this category, and they also won the overall state title. The next category is litter and waste management. Judges look for all sorts of initiatives such as cigarette butt disposal facilities, litter education and awareness signs, adequate fencing, or other devices to manage litter, blow at waste transfer and refuse facilities, adequate, accessible, visible litter and recycling bins in high traffic areas, commercial centres and public parks and areas, frequent and adequate collection of litter and recycling, followed by appropriate disposal, and our favourite, the tip shops. So regular clean-up activities, including roadside clean-ups, are also highly regarded. And here's an example from Karratha which describes the city's Bucks for Bag program and highlights statistics on activities. As you can see, 85 community members were involved in clean-ups and nearly 680 bags of litter were removed. Community groups received donations of nearly $4,000 thanks to project leadership by government, the police and financial support from the mining industry. Young Legends is a category not changed since previous years. It relates to successful outcomes from the community arising from youth-initiated or youth-led environmental action, demonstration of initiative, leadership and strength of character in taking action on behalf of a community. This lovely mosaic sign was put together by the Aboriginal kids at Yakanara School near Fitzroy Crossing. 2J won Young Legends in 2015. 2J's submission listed many individuals involved in projects for youth. Significantly, one of their projects was led by youth Christy Jolly. Christy has an impressive list of accomplishments, as you can see. The Inclusive Not Exclusive holiday program that Christy designed was for disengaged youth, and it had a project uptake of more than 200 young people. Environmental sustainability is an interesting new category. It combines water, energy and nature conservation under this one heading. You can write 200 words on each of these subcategories or 400 words on your strongest area. Water. This category recognises sustainable water management and education within communities. Judges look for innovative design in water and waste-water reuse projects and implementation of water-sensitive urban design principles, water minimisation practices and/or devices such as automatic shut-off taps on public toilets and showers, evaporation protection measures, etc. This is the new dam being put in at Calaberan. Judges look for local government support for innovative projects, concepts, studies or research which focus on innovative water conservation or reuse initiatives. Our next subcategory is energy, and as usual this subcategory recognises sustainable energy management and education which focuses on innovative energy efficiency measures and climate change issues, aiming to reduce energy use and greenhouse gas emissions. Judges look for programs and partnerships which encourage community involvement in energy-saving projects, such as the solar diesel power station at Marble Bar and energy minimisation practices at Pilbara's Metamea Regional Aboriginal Corporation. We like devices at public facilities such as long life globes, solar heated or powered public facilities or services, and automatic shut-off switches. Here's a photo from Kalgoorlie. One of many energy innovation initiatives is their geothermal power unit that was installed at the Recreation Centre. The city is set to reduce total CO2 emissions by approximately 633 tonnes per year and save $345,000 in electricity payments. Environmental sustainability also has a category, nature conservation, and this encourages environmental protection and interpretation. Of course, some of the categories link over each other. Litter prevention initiatives have positive impact on the protection and enjoyment of our flora and fauna. Judges look to involvement and community action programs such as land care, coast care, bush care, dune care. All these partnerships are significant to us. Others are Water Watch, Salt Watch and similar initiatives. We also like to see established local conservation or environmental groups involved with your awards. Practical conservation initiatives and habitat management plans such as wildlife corridors in residential, industrial and agricultural areas is highly regarded. Protected open space plans within a community and its surround, including areas with significant conservation value. Here's Kelly on the left of this photo, Kelly Howlett, Mayor of the town of Port Hedland, who is with us today, and she is photographed at left. Feral animal management policies and plans are significant. Weed eradication policies and programs, where relevant, commitment to addressing hazards such as salinity and soil erosion, which reduce land capacity. So it's your choice. Enter your water, energy and nature conservation projects in 200 words per subsection, or write up to 400 words on your strongest project. Environmental education is an award that Gilderton won in the Australian Clean Beaches titles last year. In part, judges look for innovative approaches to environmental education. Environmental education leads to empowerment, behaviour change and community improvements. Judges need to know about projects or initiatives that have inventive funding stream. At the bottom of this sign at Gilderton, you'll see the project partners listed. And we like to see that it reaches all parts of the community, so signage is significant to conveying messages. We also look to successfully overcoming adversity or achieving award-winning outcomes elsewhere.
So perhaps this is all a bit overwhelming, but don't be daunted if your community is small or you've just focused on one project or initiative this year. You can also just enter one or even two of those categories. It's entirely up to you. You can enter all 6 and you can enter the 3 subcategories as Gail has gone through, or you can enter 1. So that's the 6 award categories for Tidy Towns. And if you do have that beach or estuary or you're a regional city, then you can also enter the same information into the Clean Beaches or Sustainable Cities submissions. The categories are the same. And also if you're a metropolitan city, of course, enter Sustainable Cities. And if you're a metropolitan city with the beach, enter Clean Beaches as well. So let's have a look now. We appreciate our volunteers very much in Tidy Towns, and we'd like to know there were over
10,000 volunteers involved in Tidy Towns last year. The poll question is, how many volunteer hours do you think they contributed?
So that's how many volunteer hours do you think our 10,000 volunteers contributed in 2015? We have over 20,000, over 750,000 or over 100,000 hours. And of course these hours contribute a lot to the environmental sustainability and projects being able to be done in regional communities. So it's very, very necessary for this, and we encourage all the volunteers. So let's close that poll, and actually we can see that most of you, 80%, were correct. It's over 100,000 hours contributed by volunteers.
Let's talk about the kudos for entering the competition. There's no prize money for Clean Beaches or Sustainable Cities, but like Tidy Towns, there's a huge amount of kudos in being selected as WA's representative in the national program.
So the top 6 communities in each category will be visited by Tidy Towns judges. So the 6 categories and the top 6 in each of those categories will be visited. Now, clean beaches and sustainable cities will be shortlisted, and judges will visit the top 1 or 2 of those clean beaches and sustainable cities to nominate them towards being our state representative. So don't miss out on getting a judging visit. Write a convincing submission. It's your job to get the judges to visit you. So our judges come from different areas: the Department of Parks and Wildlife, Keep Australia Beautiful, the Water Corporation, the Waste Authority, and people who are experienced in sustainability and waste management issues. So again, we'll just go briefly through the photographs. A note about photos is that we just require them separately from the submission. Don't embed them into your submission. So don't miss out. Perhaps we need to look at a strategy. And like a signpost, your submission will lead judges to your community. So it's important for you to list all your projects in each category, focus on what you see as the major project, giving more in-depth analysis, facts and figures, and you can pad out your submission with newspaper clippings or links or Facebook posts or to websites for judges to get more information. So what makes a good submission? In a nutshell, facts and figures. You can't argue with facts, and the more figures and facts you are able to give, the better. Judges are very impressed with solid information. And remember, you're being assessed for what your community can do where you are. So start collating information as soon as you can. The committee meetings, the progress reports, the tours, you'll be surprised at what's actually happening in your community, and you can use this to go forward for next year's submission as well. So let's look at the 6 things that make up a good submission. Who, what, where, when, why and how. So a rule of thumb is to think about answering these 6 key questions. So tell us who's involved in your project. What is your project about? For example, Port Hedland's turtle program promotes long-term survival of local turtles through education, nesting site identification monitoring, and protection from feral animal predators. Try to be specific for the where. What location? What area did it cover? How big was the area? And when? Judges will only assess projects planned, maintained or completed from the 1st of June 2015 to the 30th of April 2016. So a word about maintenance of projects. You might think, oh, we haven't really got any new significant projects happening in our community. Judges view the maintaining of a project as equally as important as starting up a new project, because sometimes we get funding for new projects, but it's the ongoing maintenance can be the thing that keeps the community together. So the why, think about who cares or what is the impact of your project. Why is your project important? Convince us why. So last year the Cunderdin community raised nearly $3,000 for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. This was in response to 10-year-old local Leighton Carter's desire to raise funds, a desire met by over 101 participants. In this instance, it did not meet a community need, but demonstrated a strong outreach to West Australians afflicted by cystic fibrosis, the most common genetically acquired life-shortening chronic illness affecting young Australians. So judges can't fail to be impressed with such compassion and energy. So how? Here's an example of how the 2J Adopt a Spot program works. Underwritten by the 2J Tidy Towns Committee and the Bendigo Bank's Community Bank branch, the bank has committed to provide $500 per group per annum over a 3-year period to community groups on the provision that they agree to undertake litter cleanups. The submission provided information on how regularly the communities participated and also provided analysis. For example, 680 bags of rubbish weighing over 2,000 kilograms were collected. It even gave the statistic that over 3,500 cigarette butts were collected. So of course we don't need expansive detail like that, but any statistics you can provide give the judges food for thought.
And please remember, whether you win an award or not, every project has a positive outcome.
So this brings us to the end. So let's have a look. Strategize. Remember who, what, where, when, why, facts and figures, your supporting documents, your links, and your high resolution supporting photographs if you have them. So don't be put off if you don't have photographs. Still put in your submission. You may have questions, and as we've already said, put your questions in and we'll answer them. And we very much encourage you to enter Tidy Towns, Sustainable Cities or Clean Beaches and enjoy the party. Any questions, please ask us now or email us. So this concludes our webinar, but we'll be online now for a minute or two. And I hope the submission process and the 3 award programs has been a bit clearer to you now.
This webinar will be uploaded to our website so that you and others can view it as well. But do post your questions now if you have any, and we'll remain online. Thank you.
Okay, we do have some questions coming through, and you've been asked if we could give you the prize money numbers again. So without going back through the PowerPoint, Gail's going to give you that quickly.
Tidy Towns is judged at a state level, and all our state finalists receive $350 per category for which they are shortlisted. We decide on 6 finalists for each of the 6 categories. The prize money, if they happen to win that category at state level, is $500, and should the entrant be an overall Tidy Towns state winner, the prize money is $6,000. All that money is accumulative, of course, and the reason that we like to support our Tidy Towns folks to that extent is that we need to support them going to the Eastern States generally for the Australian Tidy Towns Awards. There's no prize money for Clean Beaches or Sustainable Cities, but what we're actually doing is collecting nominations for those awards. Thanks.
And Joe's question was, can I resubmit something that was submitted last year if the project is continuing? And the answer would be yes. You're maintaining that project, or perhaps it didn't reach the the fulfillment, the fruition of that project. So everything, whatever is contained within the time frame that we said, is perfect to put in for this year's submission, and we look forward to receiving it. So we're online for a little bit longer if anybody has any further questions. Otherwise, please, you're free to leave now, and I hope this has been informative for you. So thank you. Fiona Brown, thank you. You've asked a question. It's please will be uploaded to the website as my note-taking skills are a bit rusty. Can a paper copy of the main areas be posted, please? What we can do is send you an outline of the PowerPoint. I'm not sure how useful that is sometimes, but perhaps it will just link you to remember what we discussed. So we can certainly send that to you, and yes, it will be on the website.